So even though you already said about the 70% rule, you don't budge on it. I have heard that with higher ARVs, people are using 83%, 80. What do you think about that?
I think it's fine for them, okay? And I'll never do it. And I think that some people who do it, okay, there's a couple of different situations. They're becoming desperate, okay, to find a deal. On the high end, I get it. But the problem is I'm assuming they may have never rehabbed a luxury home, which I have done. And while it may sound like, oh, we could make 200,000 on this or 300,000, it seems like a big number. Boy, the renovation costs will get out of control very, very quickly. The holding costs can eat your lunch. You start getting into seven-figure properties, the holding costs can eat your lunch very quickly. So I just feel like these percentages in general, if you have super, super deep pockets, the problem with, so if we were in an appreciating market with a lot of room to go still, a lot of runway. If you asked me that question 2 or 3 years ago, I would say if you have deeper pockets and you're probably going to be okay, you could maybe take a gamble and go to 75%, something like that. Maybe. The problem is if a market starts to decline, the one that gets hit the worst, super, super low end, super, super high end, and then vacation properties. Your middle income where most people are living, breathing and dying, they don't have as much damage. The super high end, the wealth effect, the stock market, all those types of things will cause luxury home buyers to just sit still and stay in place. You don't see as much movement, mobility, and so you'll see a lot of big price drops in the high end. And so again, if you have deep pockets, you got 7 figures in the bank, you're probably not going to get hurt. Other people who are maybe stretching it a little bit because they're really enamored with that big payday, boy, it can crush you quickly, especially if you're using hard money or something like that. I mean, it could crush you quickly. So no, I don't recommend it. In fact, the only time I budge on 70% is if I go into the low end. Let's say I'm doing a flip that's ARVs 150, 100,000, like starting to get down into that, what would be lower end. I know there's not a lot of those houses anymore, but you start to get down around there, then I'm probably going to go to like a 60% roll, because now it's not even hardly worth because the profit margin is only going to be like 10, 15 grand. It's not even worth the hassle of doing a renovation, right? So I may drop it. In the higher end, I know some of our members who've gone up to 75, maybe 80 a couple years ago. I would really caution against it now. But as a wholesaler, if you're not buying it yourself and you have buyers who are saying, I'll go to 80, then run it off 80. I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm not going to, and I would advise people not to if they're going to renovate it themselves. As a wholesaler, again, if you got buyers going to 80, 83, then if you can get it for 75, flip it for the extra 5%, go for it, right? It's really going to depend on what your buyers are willing to do. If you know they got the cash and they're willing to do it, then run it off those numbers.